Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Stella.
Because I don't know if the signal is good.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, so I've been having a lot of synchronicities, and when I join, it's kind of interesting what, I don't know her name, but the lady who was talking,
Pamela.
it's one of the topics. Pamela, I've been having synchronicity with all the events, what's going on, what the illusion of you know, let's see, fear to I'm gonna get the virus or this and that, the 5G and all that. Okay, it's part of the game. But I had a synchronicity also. I got out of the work and I went across the street when they say yoga, and I saw this sign of a guy who talk about vitamin niacin treatment, which I long time ago when my son wasn't doing good, I found this old book in the internet talking about treatment for depression and with niacin. So here I talked to the son of a doctor who wrote the book, and he's doing treatment for the veterans over there with the detoxification and treatment of environment. And we talked for an hour. But, you know, what I want to put in clear to everybody, we get entangled in delusion because our practicing belief systems, the solution is going to be in a medical treatment, detoxification, this new machine, this new, you know, supplement, this new something that comes from outside instead of inside. And what I've been searching is my purpose, my soul purpose. And I want to bring this to you guys because our humanitarian project is part of our soul purpose. If we are in this group, it's because somehow, somewhere, at some time, we decide to come here, experience this, and be part of the, let's see, evolution of this planet and the souls that are here. But as we know, a lot of people are disconnected and they don't understand the complexity of the truth because we keep being deceived every second. And once you get deceived several times, you really know how to play the game. And let's consider this as a virtual game. Detach from the emotions and understand that when the body it's in experiencing pain, depression, your emotional body is taking over, your soul leaves the body and you're no longer in control. And people are lost, and that's what is happening with the coronavirus. People are getting sick because the feel of their cells go into the weak mode, and the virus goes to the, you know, it's an energetic at the beginning until it becomes manifestation. But the people that are in high vibe, happy, and they're optimistic, and they have a better immune system, they don't get affected. Or the soul warriors, you know, the ones that want to find the truth. So it's very important to me that as part of the health system is relearn, reconnect, understand who we are, and the importance of that unconditional love, of support each other, certain kindness and respect, and still in energy. And that could be applied in any of the projects because we don't know how to do that. I mean, it's a general way to say, okay, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a way to say that we've been living with these programs in the brain, and we really gonna rebuild the way of doing things. So this health project could be a perfect project. The people that have medical conditions, but the deep problem is at the soul level. Connect themselves, get stronger from inside out. You know, regain that sense of purpose, because when you do something with a purpose, you're happy. It's not about $1,000 or $1 million you have in the bank. You're much happier when you do something with a purpose. When you do, you give without expectations of something in exchange. You're just happy helping someone, or being part of a project, or collaboration with a team. So what I see the new earth, it's not about the money. It's about what we learn and the experience of accomplishing a project, a challenge, or helping others, or enjoying being human. Arts, music, dance, food, gardening. Enjoy life in a different perspective instead of thinking the old mortgage. So that's when you get stronger, when you build self-esteem and self-love, because we are the ones who limit ourselves through fear. They put us all this program of fear. I'm not good at anything. I cannot make money. I'm useless. Because those are the programs you could see in the kids struggling growing up as an adult. What am I going to be? It's difficult to do this, difficult to do everything. Instead to connect to what you're doing and try to complete the project or the task that you're doing without expecting anything. No judgment, no all this imprint that the only thing they do is hurt you. And once we know that every body is a universe with the soul inside, which is the central sun of that little universe, is a star that's going to shine, the more evolved it comes and the experience. That's the life in this planet. This is a nursery. This is where souls comes.
I think we lost you, Stella. Can you hear us, Estella?
There it is.
Interesting. Okay. What I'm saying is, this planet, we came here to experience soul into the matter.
A couple of those things.
Into the body. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Hello?
We lost you for
Can you
a
hear
little
me?
bit. Yes.
So the main goal of coming into this planet is to experience as humans this body. Is your avatar.
You're okay.
Your soul is the essence. And people are disconnected. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So the soul is the essence. And all the problems and addictions and everything is because people don't know themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't know how to work as a group. They don't want to respect others. Everything is like the vampire energy. What can I get you from you? Nothing is free. Sorry, I'm sarcastic, but that's the way how we live. Anyway,
that's okay. We like sarcasm.
Sorry if I went in a tangent, but my point is, whatever project we do, we have to concentrate at the soul level, so who we are, and relearn and rediscover through these projects what we are capable of. Because as far as I know, we are not even using 1% of who we are. So people get sick because they get despair, they're in pain, and they don't want to be here anymore. Finding the purpose here is what is going to be the drive. And I love the idea. I mean, I'm 56, my kids are, older, and I've been thinking, what am I going to do? Get another house, smaller? And I've been thinking, well, it's great to be in a community with a group of people. You can do stuff and have fun. At the same time, you're doing a humanitarian project and you're healing the planet, healing the people. We have to do things seeing the good of what we're going to create. Like, we're going to shift this shithole. Sorry. But that's my attitude, Create beauty, create hope, create love. I mean, bring love into where, people are hopeless. Doesn't happen if someone give you a hug and you like all stiff because you're not accustomed that people come and give you a hug or love you? We lost that. So that's my synchronicity coming to like, this is what we need to focus, because elevating our frequency by doing this kind of work, that's how the 100, how is it called, the phrase, the 100 monkeys effect? So if we do stuff with the attitude of the tough, unconditional love, that's what we're gonna bring. And also because I've been deceived so many times, I'm not expecting anything from anything, but we're supposed to, once we know each other, ourselves, we're gonna start into the mode of manifestation and co-creation with the planet and co-creation within the groups. And that's when the magic is gonna happen. And I truly believe that's gonna happen. So this thing of the trust is almost like the RV and gold and the stock market, and always expecting something from outside, when in reality we are the ones who we need to see the vision, we need to feel it, we need the desire, we need to want to do it. That blah 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 goes nowhere. But when you start to do something with the desire, that's when stuff's happening, synchronicities, someone show up with something you were looking for. And this kind of dynamic, that's our goal, that's our abundance. Like the lady in Chico, she's so loving for helping people, and she creates from nothing. So that's the craziness I'm bringing. And I know I'm saying this because I go through those emotions of the media, all the information is all crap, and I have to neutralize myself to keep my focus on what we're gonna create and what is coming. To standing in the good side of the road instead to be victim and everybody gonna die and we're gonna do this. People saying so much crap is horrible. By the way, someone died here in Placer today, a lady, 51, from coronavirus. But so I really like the idea of the health system as like a integral with the alternative, but also working the connection to the soul. So people get stronger from inside out, not only expecting that the medicine is going to do the magic. People have to have the desire to live and to experience this moment, you know.
Well, thank you, Stella.
Is it too crazy what I'm saying?
Not at all. Oh, not at all.
What you guys?
Thank you so much, Stella. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's from the heart of Stella.
Yep. Thank you.
Love it.
May I add something?
Any other questions, comments, or observations for Pamela?
Jim, may I say something?
Yes.
As Thomas continually says, people need to take responsibility for their lives. Many people need to relearn that responsibility. They've never learned it or they've forgotten how. And I feel that's a big part of moving forward in any area. To give people a hand up is one thing, and a hand out is another thing. And I think many people need a hand up to come to that realization. Thank you.
Thanks, Pamela. Okay, I see Kimberly has her hand raised. Hi, Kimberly. Need to unmute, hon.
Oh, myself. Hey, everybody. Hi. Pamela, that was a really great presentation. I really liked it. The thing I was thinking about, you guys, with the healthcare is, do you remember Thomas just recently talked about the water, the H9O water? And basically, he was basically trying to tell us that the source inside of us is the water, the living water that we are. And I was thinking, need to try to, yeah, exactly. We need to incorporate that somehow, because I'm starting to use my tune forks and use my intention to move in that direction. Well, we should be able to affect our bodies like Dr. Emoto. Those tests, those experiments that he did, I think a lot of people know about them. And I think that's something we could incorporate into our villages or our healthcare plans. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. And you might want to get together with David Croney from the THI Oregon. He's all into the, what's it called?
H9O?
Natural action.
Yes, Donald also is into
action,
that.
Structured water.
Yes, I'm stunned by it, and I think it's going to be us healing us, what's already inside of us, which is the source. That is our connection, as Thomas was saying. If you go back and I've been reading the ebook again, I don't know if the new people know about the ebook. Few people in our group got together and they have an ebook. Jim, isn't it up on Facebook under the files section? Can you download it, right?
The THI ebook?
Yeah, it's to the heart.
Yes, it's in the THI Facebook file section, correct.
It's excellent. I would recommend it for anyone who's new. Go read that. It talks about Kim. It talks about source. It talks about the quantum computer. It talks about how we got to this place. It talks about everything. It literally is amazing background to what's going on.
Kimberly, you're talking about the 300-page manifesto?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I was talking about. It's just work. And we are
That's a great place to start.
Yeah. And all the projects, we do it from that core of creation.
Yeah.
Trust.
Exactly.
And co-creating, there are no chief. We are all voices. And, recreating how we're going to live here.
Yeah, we just have to
we are the stewards.
We just have to remember, because if the source is inside of us, we never have been disconnected from source, ever. It was just forgotten.
And I know because I'm telling you, I don't follow books. I follow my soul. And that's one of the issues why I don't follow books, because the problem is created by man.
Right. I think this is a good book. I know you don't follow books, but this is a good book because I go by my intuition. You guys know me. I'm all about that. But this has information sourced from Thomas specifically and from Kim specifically about stuff in the past that we might not remember, and it might be because of the compression against us and the memory wipes and all that. It would be very difficult to get that unless we actually go take a look at that. And once you do look at it, you do get triggered and you do start remembering. So it's a really good place for people who are new, who just got here and are just trying to catch up.
Well, that's where it comes. Mm-hmm. That's where it comes to your purpose as a soul, as the essence of creation. You came with a soul purpose. Your contribution is part of the symphony.
Yeah, I think it's like
everybody has a tone, and we make a song.
Right, we're like luminous tuning forks, but we're source. We're mostly water. And what if source was water? Then we have to recognize that, and then imagine what your words, your tones, and your intentions say. That's why they use spell magic, right? With wording and such, so that you're affected that way. But that just means you have your intention as well. So, like, I finished the project. I want to let you guys know that I was supposed to, my video, I got an iMovie of it, and I compressed it because it was really big, and I sent it to Phyllis. So I think in the next day or two, whenever Phyllis gets it up, it's just a link. And then you guys can click on it, and it's going to take you to a Dropbox server. And it's got all of the stuff that I've been doing up to this point. And I was super excited because it shows how you can do a lot with just hardly nothing at all. And that's what I was trying to get to. The point is, the money's okay, but we can still do stuff now. We literally can just do it now with our intention. So I think, I want to let you guys know I have that available. And
I want it, Kim.
Yeah. I think Phyllis has a link, but I think I might be able to go drop it into our Facebook, or I might even drop it here.
Kim, I was going to say, if you want to send it to me too, I can post it on Facebook as well.
Is that Miriam?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Hang on a second. I am not technological, so let me see. Hope I don't get cut off.
Estella, just to add to what you were saying, I came across this comment today. As the illusion collapses around us, we are the mavericks. We are in control of our reality, not them.
Exactly. That's when I say the virtual reality game, because once you follow your trust, your soul, you're strong. Mm-hmm. But then, like the diet, the supplements, all that is a supporting system. But the most important is the breath, the connection to the planet, because the planet also is evolving and we are running the wave.
I'm loading a file. I'll see if I can do it. Oh, did it work?
Yeah, I agree. The whole water thing has been something I've been on, and I'm quiet here a little bit about it, but that's something that's extremely been very vibrant with me too. I get all my family people on rain soft systems. I really think that people should be drinking off wells, and then and their own charcoal filter systems from runoff, what have you. What they're doing with how they're natifying the freaking water system, and then they're doing it with air tokens. Water was the last one. First they got the water, now they're going to try and do the air tokens, which is that's not happening. So, but with the water, I posted something on the THI book that I really would like everyone to look at. That interview with my mentor Steve Richards and the holographic kinetics, and his ability to what we call surrogate. Kind of like Avatar, how you circuit the spirit in the human into the Avatar alien body, right? What this guy's able to do, what we're able to do, is actually get not only other people's spirits, not only through another body. What he's doing, that's why I posted this. He's able, and he put it with Thomas and this H90 and the whole water deal. First, I'd like to give you he says from 60 to 85% water. In the middle of that is 72. What is the earth surface covered of water? It's about 70%. What are we made up of? We are in direct relation. If this water thing, I will say but we all know, comes to Tom's pretty sure shit, right? If our water is as special, we are made up of this, and we can surrogate. Water is what? H2O, hydrogen, 2 oxygen, right? Hydrogen is what space is made up of, and if we are able to surrogate and then communicate through water and this technology, and it literally will talk back to us through surrogacy, what cannot we heal is my question.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. This is gonna be fun stuff. I got more coming out for you guys. Yeah, look at Richard's holographic kinetics, and what in that one interview, and with the pictures, and how he showed. Because I've been there, I've literally seen him, and I know he surrogates. This guy is phenomenal, and this is the healing. This is my biggest, besides the farming, this is what I really want to push. And some of the equipment, like the dark telescopes, the frequency emitters. And then there's a few other things that are even more, but you talk 30,000, 50,000 for some. A lot of it's real expensive stuff. We need a few of them to be moving around it and kind of experience, because this is front of line stuff. This is breaking technology stuff, and a lot with David and everyone else. Once we get that everyone's mind wrapped around this water thing, I think, oh, dude, it's gonna be fun. You know. Yeah,
Is that a project you want to do, Jacob?
Oh, it's one I've been. Ever since I put it like this, ever since I took his course, I've been underneath attack heavily. While I was taking his course, even before it was up, but after I took his course, that's basically when things got real. Everything, me being where I'm at and everything else, and it's been a really huge test. And it is to be one of these guys and heal. You got to be really level-headed. You got to be real straight. And this is where I think Thomas is coming from, with the toxins. And I was even upset to hear him say, you want to spark up another spliff. I do smoke a little bud here and there. I drink my wine once in a while because, we get vibrated. It's the only way I know how to calm down. Otherwise I'll be up all night and work on my I need to work on my mantra, I guess, and stuff like that. But I don't have a girlfriend. I'm really by myself, isolated all this stuff with you guys here, and just I feel like I've been jumbled up, stocked up with all this stuff. Don't know how to get it out. Now I'm here and sharing with you guys, and you guys are all on the same wavelength. It's so cool because I know from myself, from Steve, the guy's a genuine article. He really is. And he's like Tommy down in Australia, if you will. I mean, I don't know, as far as healing and stuff, Tommy's a different entity, don't get me wrong. But he's got a lot going on with that water thing. And he's breaking ground with someone on the intellectual, energetic interconnection, if you will, with it. And it's and he's got proof. So I highly suggest everyone go check out his website, holographickinetics.com, and then that video. It'll blow your lid off.
Jacob, I have an idea. We have a THI webpage, right? Have you thought about, if you're starting to study this and get into it, would you be willing to write articles for us?
Yeah. This is something I'm working on with Steve, and one of my proposals I have. Okay, I got 3 proposals I want to do, just starting. And well, that's really one. I'm gonna be Skyping and FaceTime. You guys put it like this: this guy can Skype with you, and he can literally lift some of his dark energy out through Skype. Mm-hmm. This is how in touch with source this guy is something I get excited talking about because I know it to be true. And I'm going to be meeting up with him. I'm going to get a list of basically what he needs and what I'm doing. So I would love to be on the West Coast and maybe help that in tangent with him always. He's my mentor. He's the one that developed it, and I always give credit where credit's due. So with that being said, absolutely, Kim, 100.
That's fantastic.
And do you know, because you have source inside, and the moment you connect to source, you're the one who can clear negative, remove entities. You are the one doing it. The other person is a guide, is a support. But you're the one doing it with your desire of really heal from inside out. So this is something, my main point is to empower people so they use their own light, bringing it out, shine from the inside out. We have to, I'm sorry, but looking for outside solutions, it's okay. This guy probably, he has a journey. He got good at something. Everybody is good at something. Yeah. Everybody has a gift, but they need to find it. And my point is, that's the point, to assist people to find their gift and their strength from the inside out. And I'm a dowser, and 10 years I work with energy, but I know, if I'm helping someone, the person is doing it, I'm helping. Because one of the laws, universal law, you don't put hands on anybody. You support the system so the energy is running, but the person is the one doing it. And it's a journey. You can grab a glass of water and spin it with a wood spoon, and you put your 2 hands, and from the heart, you inhale from the center of the earth, and you send it from with intention from your heart through your hands, and you charge that water, and then you drink it, and that water is going to give you what you need. Because one of the principles of the universe and all the souls, the trees, the plants, there is a symbiosis. They are given unconditionally. That's the love that the universe has. They don't want you pay $1 million. They're giving you what you need. And as humans, that's what we need to learn to do. To provide that support of what the people need so they can energize from the core out. Because they lost, we got in how's it called, like no insomnia, when you are like numb in the brain, like you've been in a coma, you forgot who you are.
Amnesia.
Yeah, amnesia.
Down amnesia lane. For us that are getting up and long in the tooth.
and another thing is this duality. Duality is chaos. You go from left to right. You're in chaos. We need to be in balance and in peace. And that's when the heart energy really is controlling knows the word. It's like you are in the moment and you're in that energy of source that comes the power in. When you're in peace, when you're in the moment. Not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. Being connected. And that intuition that the lady said from Chico, that's what we need to develop, that connection, respect, and communication. So, sorry.
No, thank you, Estella.
Stella, beautiful.
Anyone else have any questions, comments, or observations for Pamela? This is Pamela's Hour, presenting and helping in the Real Care Project.
I support you, Pamela.
Yes.
Thank you. And Sean, too. He brought forth some really good ideas of how it should be structured in the past, and I was very impressed with it. So I thought it was something that really did need to be carried forward.
And also, sorry.
Go ahead.
Diversity, because people find the channel how they know, they believe in something, could be, herbs, or could be the water, or could be the music. So suddenly this system of new health has diversity, and people use that inner connection to say, where is my spot, And that's what I truly believe, because in my own experience of healing, I went for the places I knew work for me, the other stuff. So diversity, so people, follow that inner intuitive connection to, I want to heal. Oh, the herbs is good for me. Or, or maybe an MD with the completely different, approach.
Okay, I just noticed.
I have a couple of things to say to that.
One second, Don. I just
Sure,
noticed. Please. I just noticed that Sean is on the call. Redro, you want to make a comment, or how you feeling? Can you hear us?
I'm having a heck of a hard time right now. I'm pretty ill, so I'm just gonna kind of want to listen, and I'm apologize, and boy do I appreciate everybody, and I'm just gonna have to just be listening. I'll chime in when I can. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. Get better.
Right.
Don,
Yeah, I will.
Don, I'm going to get right back to you, Don. Who are the two people on phones tonight? One 805 and one 707. Is that you, Ken?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, we'll get back to you also. I just wanted to see who was on, and who's on 805? Is that you, Vicky? 805 area code. Is that Vicky? Okay, back to you, Don.
I was just going to respond to a couple of things that Estella and Pamela are connecting with, and Kimberly also, and just touch on the water for Jacob real quick. We all have these encounters with individuals, and it's good to take note of practitioners or holistic healers or people that I don't want to say could be useful in this type of format, but also take caution that by word of mouth, fine, but don't post anything or anything about anybody that does that type of thing unless you have their sole permission to do that. That would be one thing that I would really want to emphasize to anybody that maybe found like somebody that's like very got good hands or has a great practice or does volunteer work or pro bono, anything like that for anybody. And then back to the larger picture of us just networking with healers. And if you do that, just kind of keep your own mental notes, or like I say, if you have the okay to go ahead and present that information, then by all means, put it in some kind of a digital post or like what Jacob's looking at is hey, I'm just going to start throwing articles up here. And I definitely suggest to everybody that if you come across something, little houses, eco villages, quantum this or AI that, yeah, put it up there. It's all fascinating stuff, and if you've got the time to read it and comment on it, it's welcome, definitely. That's all I have to say until we get through Pamela's presentation. And Pamela, yeah, I think you're onto something there. It's just these are big picture things, and what I was going to talk about later, I'll mention, but bear in mind that these are long-term projects, and it's I'd like to say that all of the things that we suggest here and discuss in the physical realm are these are big ideas, and it's going to take some work and some coalition from us all to grow this and find the resources, find the people, find the connections, network with the right people, and put it all together, irregardless of all the red tape and the bureaucracy that anybody thinks is out there, because that's all matrix garbage, and we're looking beyond that, outside of it, up above it. So what Estella's talking about is capturing. I'll just wrap it up real quick. It starts with grounding, some balance, and then shielding. So go out and hug a tree, walk barefoot, do whatever you want to do to get in touch with nature. And once you get that, start finding your balance. And when you find your balance, you can put your bubble around you and start shielding yourself and protecting yourself. And then you can start growing your bubble and having some influence out there. But without some core center, tough thing, a lot of battles out there. And I'm pretty bad at kicking the shit out of myself, and there's plenty of people out there that do it for me. So, all right, I'll shut up. Thanks.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for your input. I really enjoyed your input about the water. That is a very important factor. Thank you.
We still have about 13 minutes left in the first hour. So anyone else have questions, comments, or observations for Pamela?
I want to add something. Maybe we develop techniques like the gentleman who just said, because when you are in pain, like the gentleman is not feeling good, your emotional body is taking over your balance. And, finding a way to be calm is very important. And I know music for me, is a big factor. And the lady who knows about the tuning forks, I don't know, maybe we can have tools to like really shield. And the vagus nerve is like a string and is the one connected to all the organs in the body. So when you're in distress, that vagus nerve is vibrating not in a good frequency. So we need to learn how to get back the strength, and like everybody, and Thomas said not to smoke pot or alcohol or cigarettes and looking for something outside. It's a process, but I think it's important that we recognize that the strength is there in that way, not in the pills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wanted to add something too. I believe it was it was in the previous meeting, a Zoom meeting that Phyllis mentioned when we were talking about relearning centers being in the eco-villages. Phyllis, I think, brought up the fact that we should have art centers for artists and dance and music and all the creative arts, which I think will contribute to the healing very well.
That's what I want to create. An outdoor, like like where I'm here now, I'm in under the stars, under a 60-foot pine tree, and this is where I put my music, and I dance, and the other day this was like a walking dream. I was listening to my music, and I really felt like relaxation in my muscles and everything. And I turned around and I saw a family of deers walking at the same move of the song I was playing.
Uh-huh.
And they went to my pond to drink water, and I felt like it was like magic. And for me, that was a call, like saying, yeah, like connecting to nature in that way. And it's beautiful. And for the kids to dance outside in nature, I think it's a great idea, and I really would love that.
Animals speak.
They do. Nature is very healing in all forms.
Dawn, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I'm just kind of listening in.
Okay, feel free. Anyone else before we hit the top of the hour?
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I'm
Pam.
an artist, and I think that the art centers would be a good idea, and just be able to share the talent we have here.
We do have a health center over here where I live, and it's free to everyone. And they can go in, they can do art. The children can go in and do art. There's a pool inside. So a lot of the seniors go in and they do yoga in the pool. And it's just a center, they call it a wellness center. And it's free and it's for everyone. And it's really nice because the kids, they get to have something to do because there's really not too much to do out here in the desert. So yeah, they go in there, and some of them also go in there and teach the older ones how to use their cell phones, because a lot of them don't know how to use their cell phones. So there's just little things like that at the wellness center that they provide for people for free. It doesn't cost anything. It's pretty nice.
That would be beautiful. Put the structured water in those pools.
Yeah.
So while they're having fun, they are healing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they do yoga in the pools.
Somebody shared a post during the week of this guy. I transferred it over to THI California and also Left Coast for anyone that might have seen this young guy. I had to say it was somewhere in the Amazon or South America somewhere, where this guy with hand tools carved a swimming pool out of the earth below his. He had a tree house, and he got down there and literally carved a swimming pool out of the earth and then put mud walls all around inside the entire pool, and then built a slide with branches, and also put mud on the slide. And they actually showed him climbing up back into his treehouse and sliding down the slide into this pool that he made. Pretty incredible. So we need to find people like that for the village.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting at. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour, and normally we transition over to our group project. And I believe Ken has something he wanted to discuss also that I said I'd give him time for in the second hour. So whenever you're ready, Ken, go right ahead, and then we'll get back to the group project.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I posted the Thomas brought up again. Been talking with him about the ability to get on Google or Bing or any of the search engines and find THI California. It does not exist. I just checked it again. And if the funding came out tomorrow, from what Thomas has told me, we wouldn't get anything. I mean, that's the bottom line on that for our projects, for the stuff I turned in, and for our projects here that you all are discussing. And I think that's very important. I don't think we need to change the New Earth California website other than insert a graphic up above and the header. It says THI California, and make sure we get our search criteria, which you set up when in the domain, when you go to your domain server and you set it up so that when somebody searches for THI California, they can find us. Just doing it in MeWe is not good enough for Thomas, as I understand it, from what he's told me, and also what's listed, posted to the THI California. This is the second or third time that he's posted instructions for groups, and I don't know if you all looked at it again, but that is my focus and my issue right now I want to discuss. And so where are we at there with that, Jim? Have you thought about that?
Okay, I'll have to question that information because, as you know, as soon as it was mentioned by Thomas over a week ago, simply by him wanting every group to insert a dash between the THI and the state, which I did immediately and on all pages. Other than that, from Holly and Ramona, they have both contacted me this week and told us that we are in total compliance with everything. So I'm not sure what this information is that you got from Thomas. We haven't received it. As far as I'm concerned, they told us that we are totally compliant for receiving funds, and unless I hear anything further from them, I'm not gonna change anything.
Okay. Did you see Thomas's post I put on the California page there, as far as instructions for the groups?
Yes, I've also posted that many times on both pages, and since day one, Ken. We followed the guidelines to the T with everything, including, bringing in new members. Phyllis and I'm not going to use the word strict, but we've been straight on with the guidelines for everything that Thomas asked from the beginning. I think you might be confusing. I can't speak for YouTube. I think I mentioned to you, if you have anything that you want to bring up about YouTube or the website, bring it up to Michael J. and he's closer to Thomas on a daily basis than any of us. Again, which is why I say, if we were not compliant with everything that needs to be done currently, Michael would definitely let me know.
Okay, well, I'm not putting anybody on the burner for this. I want to discuss it. I just did a search not 5 minutes ago on a couple of search engines. Actually, it's my search engine is coupled with more than one through a safe search. I put the THI-California and I came up empty. So as long as we're in compliance, we're okay. But
in search engines, I can understand what you're saying, and there could be a reason for that. You know, I personally don't think they want people going to search engines looking for us. People that find us, they find us by way of either MeWe or Facebook. And just by putting any of the THI groups or the main group into the search, and it comes right up. I actually put, after you talked about it, I actually put THI or I put truth, honor, and integrity into a Google search, and it brought me to a page that listed different avenues to get to state groups. And once you clicked on that, it brought you to a page. Oh, it brought you to the Think Different. I think it's the Think Different site. Think Different People's Club site. TDPC. And there was a list. You know what it does? It brings you to the spreadsheet that the gals set up in the beginning. And it lists all of the groups, all of the links to find the groups. So, you know, anybody that, such as Jacob, who wants to invite one of his or more of his friends onto into THI California, and I explained to him, first you have to join the main group. That's how he would do that, just by giving them that information and presenting them the link. And on MeWe and Facebook, if you look down on the left side of the page on MeWe, THI California page, there's a link to invite people or for people to join. And that's what we've been using all along. I'm not quite sure if they want people coming from other search engines or browsers.
all right, well, his documentation and what he said before, now he may have changed his mind. That he mentioned that THI-California through a search engine to find that, and I may be wrong, but I'll look over the documentation on instructions again, and I'll leave it be for now, and hope everybody's having a good night. And
don't leave, because I want to say this. This week I listened to one guy who was talking about this, that so the system, the negative system, they're doing this, that they're not blocking you. You think you are online, but they're not letting you link. It's like Twitter. You think you send a message, but the message never is sent, or people cannot see you. So we might be in compliance, but also maybe there is like a you know, in intention that the searchers engines, you cannot find it, but you are in compliance.
it's called a firewall.
Yeah. Well, so the point is like how we're gonna deal with that, and maybe you know, VPN. That means when you you have to use VPN in order to reach to the sites or something?
All I'm saying is that if we were not in compliance, we would be notified immediately by Holly and Ramona. I'm in direct contact with them at all times.
I just tried with my phone and I didn't find anything, but I have Duck something as a browser, and I'm going to check in my laptop while we talk.
DuckDuckGo, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that some more. But
it's like Jim, the thing you post about the IRS and the Matrix, I had to re-download that like 3-4 different times. It was the first 2 times, there's pages missing. And I see what you're saying, Stella. Sometimes restarting and they're powering off. I don't know if we use a computer or iPad. I use my iPad pretty much for everything in my phone. But sometimes restarting it, because it will. I've ran into that a lot too. If it's there, it's there. Yeah, but sometimes it takes a couple of different, you really got to be persistent and really let the computer know that you really want to see this information. Because, they can throw some some stuff in there that'll throw you some hiccups. But
yeah, and you got to remember, Thomas says it all the time. And everybody's posting about it. We're being attacked, from all different directions, so who controls YouTube? There's one simple answer, without shutting us down, they can interfere with us. Same thing with Google. They can interfere with us whenever they choose.
Today I watched Camelot, the lady, I cannot remember her name, but
Carrie Cassie.
It's pretty good when she kind of explaining what's going on, and at one point she doesn't say things. She got the paper and she wrote it, and she shows she's in compliance in that way with certain topics, because otherwise they shut her down. So
okay, I got one more thing to say. I noticed if I just go into a normal page on the internet using my browser, that I'm on Firefox and another one too, that there's 9 to 12 trackers. So I started using in private or incognito, depending upon which browser. They call it a different page where you're hidden from all these cookies. They don't it dumps the cookie when you leave the site and dumps anything and blocks everything else. So you might try that if you're getting blocked somewhere. I've tried searching for that THI-California, both the basic page and also in private or incognito on both two browsers. And but just to let you know, it's red flag. Google's trying to hammer in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of trackers on the MeWe site, and I informed MeWe itself. I sent in got the contact email and sent in an email and got a reply back. They received it, so they know about it. And okay, there you go.
It seems to me, just by this call, the people that need to find us will and have.
Yeah,
such as Jacob, and we've had 4 or 5 other members come in this past week, and here I'm seeing this is one of the most populated calls I've seen in a couple months.
Yeah, as long as we're in compliance for the funding, that's my only issue when it comes out.
I can guarantee you there's no problem there, Ken.
Okay, Jim.
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
What's MeWe?
Okay. That's our other site similar to Facebook. And some members don't particularly care to be on Facebook for their own personal reasons and obvious reasons. And so they prefer the MeWe site. Others of us are on both. And we have members, I'd say 50 members from on the Facebook page, and I think 28 or 30, maybe less, 15 that are just on MeWe, and then there's also others of us that are on, like I said, both. But it's just another social media site. Some people think MeWe is less interfered with, and that's a matter of an opinion, you know.
Well, it is less interfered with. There's no data mining on MeWe. Facebook, I don't think I have to tell anybody about Facebook and Zuckerberg and Langley and all the data mining that's going on with Facebook. I can tell. But MeWe doesn't data mine, doesn't take your information, and they're not, at least they claim they're not. The trackers that are there are cookies and other trackers that are just trying to break in to monitor your surfing and your history and where you're going. But like I say, if you're up to date and you got your security software and you're using an updated browser, it'll block those things. And
okay.
All right.
So Ken, while we still have you on, could you do me a favor? And I had a conversation with Jacob today, and he was asking me about the properties that we're interested in looking at and eventually putting a proposal in for. Could you speak to him on that?
Yeah, is Jacob on the call?
Yes.
Yeah, Jacob. As far as what I turned in, Jim?
I didn't know you did, but you've sent me a lot of different properties to look at.
Yeah, I turned in a proposal on the 1,058 acres here.
Okay.
Yeah, I turned that in a couple months ago, and I got feedback from the People's Club. They've got it, and the issue right now is proof of funding, which hasn't come out. The 1,058 acres, it's on PHI California. There's a YouTube video there, Jacob, you could look at of the property. It's here in Mendocino County, and it's south-facing and beautiful. Got a river running through it. Water's not an issue. There's springs all over the place, and a lot of timber. And there's access there. We'd have to do something with the roads and power distribution. I'm looking at the alternative power sources as well and solar. Yet I'm kind of blocked until I get at least proof of funding, because the Todd, who is the fellow, he's the owner and the seller, realtor on it. He won't allow anybody on the property until he gets proof of funding, not funding itself, but just proof that you've got the money there, and then he'll let you on the property, and I'll be able to go on the property, and as a dowser, I'll be able to douse and divine a property for water and other issues there.
He does too.
So, yeah, that's been turned in. I don't know if anybody else has turned in a proposal, but that's in there for us. And as far as I know, that property has not been sold yet. I sent you the links because there's some other properties that this fellow's got that are quite interesting. If you looked at them there, Jim, maybe, opportunities in other areas of California to go ahead and turn proposals in on.
You mean in which areas?
Oh, there's the Shasta County. There's that further south. Jim's got the links there. We could probably post them on THI California if we want to. And
I'll do that in the morning. Yeah, you sent it to me on my email. I'll put it.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of nice properties with springs on them and good grazing land for cattle and growing, good soil, water. Not everyone is what we want to look at, but I would say there's the 3 or 4 other properties that I saw in that emails, a couple of emails I forwarded you, Jim, that would serve us very well. And I'm not the 1,058 acres. I'm not counting that one with that. There's 3 or 4 more of them in the state of California, quite large, and water is there. Water is the big thing.
We make sure we got the water rights. I mean, I'm going to get picky and say mineral rights too. I know that's really hard nowadays, but make sure you got the water rights on there. It's something we've run into down here in Southern California a lot with the guys being dicks.
Yeah, I realize that. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Jim. You remember we talked about when the time comes. I don't feel that I'm in agreement with Jim. I don't feel that is going to be an issue. We'll be able to move forward. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the world we live in right now. It's pretty wild and crazy out there. They tried to start World War III in Syria here lately with Turkey and Syria, and the big smoke cloud that is the coronavirus is blocking everybody's view somewhere else. And there's 30,000 NATO troops on the border of Russia there. There's all kinds of Turkey is in another country there in Syria. It's really getting wild there. And there's Venezuela. You got Israel just really going apeshit. Tonight they launched a bunch of missiles into Syria again from Lebanon, but they knocked them all down. And so I keep track of that stuff and stay on top of it, and I can change things. I become aware shift happens. So I'm doing my best to keep the lights on. And California, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, but I feel that when when some of these people phase out and we come in there to help people with their cognitive dissonance and their MK Ultra issues and take over spots of being able to step in there, and the leaders from this group will come forward and walk in and make things happen.
But don't forget, you create what you focus. What we need to focus is like we are above that lower frequency, which is Google. We can connect through our souls to call those souls. They're looking for that, and they're going to find a way. If we focus on the news, we're going to bring the news into your field. We need to be above that. We need to focus on the new Earth, the new California Earth.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Estella. But you must understand that my work over 30 years is involved neutralizing nuclear weapons, the waste from Japan, picking it up out of the middle of the ocean. I mean, can't even see that on Rorschachs now. I have a special gift and I use it, and I'm not saying that I'm not, I look towards my positive issues. I do that. I'm a free will positive guy, and I help people a lot around here. And, but,
I'm no question. I know but I'm just talking in general, not toward you, because what happened is when you engage, you entangle in that frequency. My point is the peace means neutrality. You observe, you're an observer without the emotion.
That's correct. All I have to do is be aware, and shift happens.
Exactly. And for everybody, for the team, these are the things we need to train ourselves to be clear in mind, be the observer, implement solutions, and do not look at the negative. Just bring the solutions.
Yeah, I turned in a proposal. I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, and
we're doing some action here.
And not only that, but Ken has brought numerous properties.
No, I'm not questioning
into the mix.
And I'm not.
We're not focusing on one specific property. We're focusing on a property to start with. In general, we're putting it out there in a general group focus. And at the same time, Bill is focusing on a farm or more than one. So as we go forward and we all put our focus and intentions on this general group project, it'll manifest as it does. accordingly.
Exactly. I'm not criticizing. Okay. Don't take me wrong. I'm just, for me, these are like basic principle building blocks to get yourself strong. And you know how it's the game. The moment you forgot that you're strong, you're entangled and your emotional body takes over. But if you keep calm and you observe and you focus on your project, I agree 100%, and I really honor everybody. I'm just saying it's part of building the strength. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, Stella, it's okay. You know, my work experience is subsea robotics and working in the oil field with the Navy. My awareness is highly technical. I watch my six. I was involved in designing the shut-in for that blowout in Gulf of Mexico. If I hadn't have done that and stepped in there and looked at the negative thing that was happening and fixed it because I knew I had the power, that is my gift. That's what I do. That's my free will, and I make it happen. There's also the nuclear weapon right after 9/11. Neutralize that. I'm a remote viewer. This is something I do on the side while I also work the positive stuff, Estella. So as long as you understand that we all have our separate gifts, and this one I've been using for many, many, many years, and so
you could be a great trainer.
Yeah, I'm also a healer. I've healed a lot of people. I've got. Well, I don't have to defend myself. It's you know, if we don't watch our six, you know, some bear might sneak up behind us and take us down. So I'm watching everybody's six. I paint the earth, Estella.
No, I know. I said it with honor, okay? I would love to learn from you. I'm just saying, and these are, you how you call it, senior in the field, and all these are the good stuff, you know, train young people so we are more people-centered, you know, understanding. That's what I was trying to say, so people understand.
Yeah, I did 3 years in a second grade class. Boy, it was the best time of my life. Worked as a volunteer, and our grades went up 400% in that one particular class. And there's a whole group.
That's
Cut out on us, Kent.
That's something like. Let's see if he gets back on. You know, finding people's elements, knowing their birthstones. Kind of one of the things I want to do with the voltmeter is finding people's frequencies. Everyone's got a high and a low, and if everyone touches a voltmeter, you actually can see, you know, where your highs and lows are. And this is something I want to work on. Like, so, if, like for example, Australia, you want to, you know, it's how I sobered up too. When you take up your time with something on a negative or lower basis, you need to fill that time, that space in your daily schedule, your life, or your mind, basically up with something. Me, I get out and get physical. Rock climb, bike ride, you know, go for walks. I metal detect, you know, I got gold fever like a motherfucker, you know, and but it's when you get to people in like small, like cities, smaller cities, you need you almost need to like spark an invigoration, like an infatuation with this other side of things. They've had an infatuation with the lower level stuff, you know, mind altering stuff. Well, if you can tell and get out, you know, this is kind of like my approach to, you know, just walking up to any person. So this is like really like one of my things with my books is like I want to be able to write. Anyone can do this from their home. Anyone can free themselves from start to beginning. It's kind of like a story novel or like something I like to put together. But to put yourself in that position where you can walk down the street, and it's like me and Jim were talking today. We walked through straight homeless camps. You walk into there and like, granted, you may not get 100% of them. Granted, you may not get 50, but you got to come in with something. The people that are supposed to do want to change are really there because not all of them are just straight drug addict assholes that just love, you know, robbing and stealing and, you know, worrying about their next fix. There's some people with some serious issues that have been betrayed, you know what I mean, or, you know, bad divorces. And dude, I met a machinist. This guy is really smart. Went through bad divorce. collects his check, but he lives down by the river and the railroad tracks. He's just that fed up with the system, and he got screwed by his girl and all this stuff. And he messes around a little bit, but he's actually pretty level-headed, really smart guy. So what do you do with that? How do you convert that, or how do you recruit that? And for my thing is bringing a plethora. You know what your birthstone is, or what's your element? You know, this is how you figure it out. You know, bring a little book, you know what I mean? Get them interested and start thinking. You know what I mean? That's just my approach to it. I don't know what anyone else has, but knowing that bare minimum stuff can really just, because it is, you got to think of like, how am I going to spark someone and get them calling me like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? You know what I mean? People are real impatient, especially on that level. Again, right? You're really going to be real impatient. They're not going to want to sit down and talk unless you really grab them, right? Unless you really talk to them and give them something to think about. So come with the ammunition. Know your elements, know your times of the year, your star chart. Your star charts is something like with Thomas was saying, and the number 13, I had some kind of going different with the 13, but in knowing this and researching what he's saying, the 13 was actually taken out. And now, you know, maybe we're looking to put, you know, figure it up back, refigure it as far as calendars and everything else. But getting to the basics again, you know what I mean? Your energies, your birthstones, colors, you know what I mean? All that, really, people really take a step back in that. And then when you find all that out yourself, this is what's happened with me. At least I'm not saying you don't know. I don't know you at all. This stuff. It's not like very, very in touch, intuitive. I see you being a great healer just by listening to you. And it's for me, it's on the proposal side of things too. That goes without saying. When you heal someone, they're going to be looking at someone. They're going to be so high, like happy. We got to have all the music. You got to have all the freaking musical instruments we can get our hands on. We have to get, you know, I'm talking like sculpting clay. You know what I mean? I've even had visions of like, you know, people you can manipulate plants and tie certain things down, aggressive plants, right? Well, what about within a year you can grow your own house? You can grow and weave things in and then put little decks in there. Like this gets so vast. Like for me, my ideas and what I envision and what I know already, getting into the arts and the music is big, I think, because of the vibrations and the tones. Some people, we got to have all the instruments, no matter what. Find what you like. Let's start playing. Let's start jamming. Jamming, this time I learned up in Lake Arrowhead with my buddies. Jamming is like some of the best therapy. I swear, you get together with like I said, you could have two people that really, really suck. And, you know, one guy at a guitar, one guy at drums. You both suck. You both are going to make something cool, though. You both are going to remember, like, you're working with each other. And, like, that whole jamming and the development into that, you know. It's, I mean, let's think. Some of the most expensive stuff on this planet still is art. By some of these guys in, you know, the Vatican. That's what the Vatican is, you know, the Nazi war and everything else. Why are they going out there? I mean, it's just a painting, right? But people have lost that freaking in touch into, you know what I mean, where you can, I'm not saying everyone's lost it. It's very much alive over here in California, especially in New York. Yeah. But, you know, getting into that, the arts crafts, the weaving, you know what I mean? You know, blankets, crochet, people don't, like a rope. There's a lot of magic in it, you know what I mean? A lot of cool stuff, even in the weave of a rope and learning how to tie knots. You know, like I'm talking like there's some basic stuff here you can really kick off and get people going on. Have that ammunition. We want to get it. We want to heal it. Let's get all that stuff lined up. And like Bill pointed, you know I don't have everything. I got a good idea where to go to, but as far as like you know, Bill said, you know, put a flyer together. We got a flyer for healing, a flyer for people that want to, you know, get along, you know what I mean, be part of THI. And so they got all these good ideas. David was telling me, first thing, I got 1,000 people. I got 5,000 flyers on them. This is the videos you look at. This is the research you got to do if you want to get it. You know, it's you know, that first initial how can you say the first initial delivery of getting people on the right track that are interested in it. You know. So that was just my kind of. It's such a big field as far as what we're trying to converge here from. The
well, actually, it's simple. What you said is self-discovery. Everybody has something.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you have a space like the center in the desert that everybody find the activity they want to do, and you need two people, they have something in common and they create something. That's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the medicine. I agree.
Right.
Okay, so we're well into the second hour. Anyone have any comments they want to present for the group projects and incorporating individual projects such as Pamela just presented into our main group project? Bill, you want to comment on that?
On which comment, on which project?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, yourself and Ken are the only two that have actually submitted proposals. So it only seems likely that the both of you could lead the rest of us in our group project.
Well, for the farm part of it, and Ken, I've run into the problem you're running into. I was trying to, a few years ago, expand my restaurant, and I had realtors involved. I had everyone involved, and I took it all the way to the end, and my funding just dropped. So it's like, that's why I'm kind of taking it slow on finding properties here, because, you know, you spend a lot of time and energy, not of my own. I could care less about my own, but it was all these other people I was putting on missions, you know, go find this out, go find the water out, go find, you know, what type of hoods in this county do I need? And then I had an architect going, and I had all these people in motion, and then it just came to a screeching halt. So I wouldn't push this guy too hard on the land, and that's why he's asking for a POI, is because he wants to know you're real. Because otherwise, he'd be showing that thing 7 days a week. So, you know, that's why he wants proof of funds. And, you know, me and my other buddy, Brian, were looking at this other place, and I told him the same thing. I'm like, dude, we can't take this until we have the money locked down. If we have everything locked down on our end, it'll come to us. Whatever place we're looking for will come to us, because we're putting our energy out there. Our field is going out there. He had no idea what I was talking about. But I'm like, the field, the energy will be out there, and it will land right in our lap. He's like, no. We got to find the place. We got to, I'm like, you can't burn all these bridges. We have to have this money locked down. So 6 months later, it fell through. I'm like, aren't you glad you didn't have Zach running all over the city and pissing him off and texting him all night long, and nothing comes out of it? And so that's the way I'm just like sitting back. I'm like, you know, and the plan keeps changing a little. And I forget who found that farm in Half Moon Bay. I think I've seen that, but it's an abandoned cannabis farm.
I put it. I posted.
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be cannabis. It'll work for anything will grow in that thing. So it's stuff like that. And that's what pops in my head when I see stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's there for a purpose. We found that for a purpose. Something's going to happen. But then I catch myself and go, that might not be it. You know, it's just a tease. It's the Matrix. It's throwing stuff at you to suck you in. So I'm just kind of staying within myself as much as I can, and just not trying to be anxious. And
Yeah, no, I'm the timing is everything. I'm with you on that. I haven't pushed the buttons farther than just telling Todd that we were interested and I'm submitting a proposal, and if I can't get proof of funds, I haven't been running around wasting my energy on it at all after the proposal initial submittal. As far as I know, it's still out there. The numerology was there. I had goosebumps and I felt really good about it, and just left it there waiting for the right time,
No,
my time. Go ahead.
You muted yourself, Bill.
We lose him?
You need to unmute, Bill. He muted himself. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'll go check it out. I just won't, bring other people in with me. But, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, there's farmland all over the place, all over the state, all over Northern California. Again, there's guys in New York that do aquaponics. They do it in warehouses, big warehouses, and they have like these conveyor belts on the walls. So, and they like rotate with the light, and they can get a lot of stuff in a small area. So there's a lot of ways to do it. There's a ton of ways to do it. It's just going to be water and getting the right guy to run it, the right, to having the right guy that's in there that knows farming better than I do, which, I mean, there's got to be a ton of people but it'll all come into, once it hits, everything will fall in our laps. And then it's just going to be trying to keep the people out that just want the money and going to run with it.
Right.
See, we're already doing it. We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
We've been doing it all along on each and every call. 99.9% of getting what we want is in the thinking, the thought process.
Yeah.
It's only the 1% where you need to put any so-called action steps, like Bill was just talking about, sending all different people out there. You go research this, you go do this, and then you find out 6 months later the whole thing fell through.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We're doing it right now, collecting ideas and putting thoughts into what we want, and you literally can think your way right into the manifestation.
Yeah.
Visionaries.
Yes.
That's how I got my restaurant. I went through a divorce. I was drinking and drugging heavily, and I got a job, and I found a house that I didn't even have a job, and it was like $3,900 a month, but I needed it for my kids. And I wished the house. I got the house, and I wished the job. I got the job, and then once I got the job, I was selling cars. I hated it. I hated screwing people over every day, but it's all I knew how to do. Our family's been in the car business since 1906. So every day I was there, I would put this plan together. I put the plan together. And I started throwing little feelers out there, just throwing little, line in the water, and all of a sudden it just hit, and I manifested it. And I've been manifesting this for 3 years. It's starting to get a little crazy, but yeah, so with this group we have, it should come together. Something's got to happen soon. I mean, you'd think, right? So
yeah, it's happening. It's happening all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Things are changing all the time.
Hey guys, can I say something?
I'm sorry, Kimberly, you had your hand raised. Go right ahead.
Okay. Do you guys remember when Kim talked about the quantum system? And the quantum system went from the AI system to the quantum system. And the quantum system is now powered only by source, just like we are, because we're powered by source. So we're similar in that way. What I think is interesting, and is that as we are source and the system is source, the quantum system that runs the trust, that runs everything, actually has mapped out every single being, every single creature, everything that's here is mapped within the quantum system. It's registered through DNA and it's registered through RNA. So the DNA would be you, your frequency, everything that's you, somatically speaking, frequential speaking, and everything that just makes you the unique being that you are. And the RNA is where you were born to. So all the assets and the wealth that you have that's locked up inside the trust literally can come to you. Do you remember when Thomas talked about the people trying to do the RV again a few weeks ago, and they went to the bunkers and they didn't have the right intent and they didn't have the right frequency and they got nailed, they got taken out? Literally what we're doing is building ourselves from the inside, right? We're internally shifting ourselves with this G matter. We're shifting us so that we have that right vibration and that right frequency that's going to allow no wondering when's the money coming. We're just going to intend it and it's going to come to us because that's what will happen.
Correct.
That's exactly what I said, and that's what I feel. I was part of the RV since 2010, and my trust was Infinite Symphony.
Mm-hmm.
Why Infinite Symphony? Because each soul is a tone, and when you co-create, you create a song, a melody, and when you're doing things happy, you singing, you vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I maybe not having proposed my idea right now. I want to support others, but if I have to say my idea, mine is a farm of souls. So the self-discovery journey through doing what you want to do as a free soul. But that self-discovery sometimes needs a space we can provide, and the farm is also self-discovery. Maybe we have one guy as a specialist, but then there are people that want to do it and learn to do it and discover connection with the plants. What happened to me the last 4 years here, I learned through what my family was doing, and I didn't know the plants provide you what you need. There is a symbiosis at the plasma level, at the chemistry, and they're giving you need calcium, you need, all the elements that your body needs, because there is an exchange of energy. Everything is in that way. So yes. My project is a journey of the soul to be in these bodies in this beautiful planet. And sometimes my question, we're talking about, like saying the fires, cut the trees and this, but the trees are the vertical people. And so also for me, that's a question. So we're going to clean the earth. We're going to support the animals. We're going to support the waters. Anyway, sorry, my dog wants to play.
Well, we have to remember that she also said each one of us is a bank. We're the actual bank. I'm guessing the way we're going to be heading is going to be radically different than anything any of us can imagine.
Yep.
Because that's the only way. It's the only way. It really is the only way. When money doesn't become important anyway, but there's that transitionary period. So we're literally going to draw the money to ourselves when we're ready to do that.
You want to come out and warm it up? Yeah. Okay.
See, as you're creating, you don't know what's off your radar screen. so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Endless possibilities.
Endless.
And endless. And as like minds, or excuse me, like thoughts, such as we're doing right now, come together, they attract like minds.
Mm-hmm.
And just for an example, the gentleman that Ken is dealing with presently with this one property, let's just say, like Bill said, don't put too much stress into the situation. Relax, let it flow, and let's say this owner of this property all of a sudden has an epiphany and decides to donate the property to Ken, for who knows what reason. But that's how things work when you're creating, and we're all focused on the same intention. We don't want that particular specific property. We just want a property to start with. And then, others will come in after that. As soon as we get that property, we start focusing on our next chief aim, so to speak. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Well said.
Yeah,
Those are the synchronicities. The universe is talking to you, and you're interacting with the fields of creation.
Yes.
And they want to play with you, and that's how, maybe land is saying, I want to have something special, and the trees, and we suddenly find it. Everything is for a reason. Every little thing is the journey of learning and experimenting. Because the souls were infinite, but we want to expand. It's like what's it called, those things, and the patterns, they always is the same pattern, but it's expanding and expanding. We want to expand.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else got it too, but talks about the two different levels of energy. One coming out from the inside of the earth, and the other one is the 9,000 feet up, is coming down. And then it was really ringing true to me. It said too, when it comes to the women and the moon, the tides, and how they, and the even the weird epidemic of I don't know if anyone here, I have a cousin that's trans at a full-blown sex change, so I can talk about this stuff without feeling too, whatever about it. But, it's kind of like some of the whole feminine side and the confusion. This is another aspect. Not even it's like the homeless, right, and the epidemic, but then we got the confusion of sexual. Not sure if it's even confusion. Maybe there's some effort, the whole combining of things, for certain people on some levels. So, what I mean, is a part of this too. But, yeah, really getting into, identifying and having that first platform of success for whoever and however works. Doesn't matter, come one, come all. I think success breeds success. And, we get one of these places locked down, you get me in there, let's build this thing, and let's get going on it. And I was talking to even Jim, I'm ready to go at the end of next month, more or less. I may be going out. I got maybe something else going on too over in Texas, but I want to go check them out. I want to go see the healers, because I have my own ways, methods, and how to mimic and emulate. And, really want to check out and see where the whole hemp thing is, because me being a deputy or building inspector, I'm from we have the most strict, building codes in the world, being out here in California, and we hold the standards and we hold the testing. And I want to know how far he's gotten with the ASTMs, so we can't even, if we really get successful at this thing can sweep across the world as long as you got the AST, as long as you have the standards and the codes. Ain't nothing stopping you. I mean, that's all legal law by. I mean, it is what it is. For
that's a good. Your expertise are pretty good, because with the, like, Ken wants the project, the farm, we can support Ken creating, designing what he wants to have there, kind of buildings, what kind of compliance we need to have. That's pretty good. I mean, I know as we talk, we're creating, but also I think it's good to the people that have the project support them and start to see what is necessary and build the proposal, like what you need, which kind of building, which kind of facility, and you set your priorities, and then the place is gonna pop up because you thought about it, maybe it has, like the gentleman said about the greenhouse, maybe it has a greenhouse, you have the farm, you have the river, and we already have a drawing of what you would like to build or something, and we can do something at that level until things.
Yeah, I mean, I've built greenhouses out here that produce. There's some material out there that lets in. What was it? 80%, between 70 and 80% of the beneficial lumens from the sun, and blocks out the rest. I mean, I was growing 12-foot high plants, the fun plants. Grandpa's all wacky tobacco. But I mean, I envision, growing herbs, getting back to the real old school holistic of like all, dragon's blood, and like growing the really wicked, like cool stuff that actually did heal stuff back in the day before. I mean, you really got to think about it. After Salem witch trials happened, think about it. This is where I got love for my healers and my Wiccans and everything else like that. I don't care. I know magic is magic and everything else, but they held a knowledge, a healing knowledge. And after think about it, after the Salem witch trials, who was out in the corner saying, "Get this elixir. We got this. It's going to make you feel good." And they didn't know their shit. Well, that's where Big Pharma started after they got rid of the real healers. And I'm about bringing that back. You know what I mean? I get real mad. Anyone knows about the case of there's in Florida, they were going against Monsanto and the CDC, dude, and they all got hit. And then there's certain things that need to be rectified, and I'm all peace.
Actually,
when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like,
that's another thing to do. Like here, there's an herbalist at the Sprouts. I go in Folsom, and the guy give me all these native herbs, like cough syrups made of all natural stuff.
Yes.
That stuff is very powerful and really good. I mean, that kind of stuff we can produce. Bring back the old knowledge, the good stuff, like grandma's recipes.
Yeah.
Stella, you missed a call 2 or 3 weeks ago where Ken was talking about exactly what you're saying, having to do with, when this property comes in and becomes available for those that want to, let's say, move there right away. That's the first thing we have to establish, a group of community planners from all different trades and skills, and that, we form a committee and designate where we're going to put the health and learning center, where we're going to put the area for growing hemp, where we're going to put an area for farm animals, right off the bat. And it's people like you that have architectural backgrounds, that are going to be the ones to determine, where we can put our structures and what makes the most sense.
Well, for example, supporting Ken's project, right? He's looking at the land. What we could do is have a meeting, and we can do a diagram of functions, what Ken's vision, and then everybody contribute with their expertise and see what we come up, as a bubble of functions, and then we kind of provide square footage, and then we go step by step until even how we build it. But then we can get an estimate of cost, so we can be more realistic for his economic plan, So the project gets developed, it's thought thoroughly, and it's a good exercise because the same way it can be applied to another concept. You know, depends on the complexity, but that's the right way to create a business plan is, you know, discuss the main idea, how you're going to implement it, and then we put it in written format to have the, how you call it, the proposal. Because there's a lot of stuff to do in a professional way for one person.
Yeah, it's a group thing. So, Don, let me ask you, did I give you enough time tonight? I know I promised to give you some time to talk about how we can integrate this with the other groups, such as Oregon. Did you want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I took a whole bunch of notes. You know, I'm going to try and breeze through this. I know we're a little pressed for time, but you know, you guys know me, I'm succinct. So, you know, I already mentioned the Healing Network. If you guys know people and you find that they're helpful, beneficial in any way, make a note. You know, ask them if they want to be, you know, do some advertising and reach out to new patients. By all means, you know, if you got their permission, but make a mental note, because this is going to come in handy many times over for THI California, for the whole groups, because this is all going to be one massive network when we're done with it. It's going to be broadcast, it's going to be directories, all of the above. You know, I think we ought to do at this point, and this is kind of coming down, not necessarily from on high, but out of THI Oregon, who I have a really solid friend that I've known for almost my whole life, in David Croney up there. And you guys have talked with him, and he's been on THI California, I think once or twice. He's communicated with Jim, and I've got an open pipeline to him, and he's got an open pipeline to some people that are, you know, a little higher up on the THI People's Club ladder, let's say. Not that we're saying above or organization, but they're just, you know, they're a little connected to some things that are just coming down and not fully being disseminated publicly at this point. That said, intentions, by all means. And what I mentioned earlier was, you know, find your grounding, find your balance, find your bliss, find your place, find your shielding, and then we can go out as individuals and help the world. But without this and off our rockers and hurt and ailment and Redro, I think I sent you some stuff on some healing frequencies. Try that out, check it out, get back to me on it, and I posted it on the Think California page also. Okay, so again, back to what's coming down from, yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a color change? You know, I'm seeing your aura.
Oh no, it's just a light bulb behind me. I thought it was kind of cool to. Yeah. See it, guys, right on. Groovy. Hey, I'm from the �60s, so it's okay. '70s too, but yeah, I'm of that ilk. We'll get on with that one. Hopefully we can meet all in person. And that said, you know, as we do this virtual world and try and organize and get together and form these teams for these projects, you know, I threw up there, I'm in Sacramento. I don't mind going down south, but I'm not just going to go on a whim. I don't like going all the way up to Oregon just to say hello. But I can travel, and I am mobile, and I am accessible, and I do have resources to get around.
You're my buddy. You're my buddy. I work at Rancho Cordova.
Oh, well, let's hook up. We'll have lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so what I'm hearing is let's go for it. Think big. But we need to take a couple of baby steps first. Those being that we need to have an official place of business, a hard place with an address and a phone number to do the funding. That's kind of the instruction that I'm getting up there. And I'm going to clarify this, and I'm going to get some hard documentation of this. Is basically what we're going to do is we're going to emulate what's going on up in Oregon, because they're a couple steps ahead of us right now as far as organizing and putting this from ideas, thoughts, intentions to something concrete, brick and mortar, where we can actually say, I'd like to go and do something part-time, full-time, volunteer, however you look at it. But if you do need a salary, then that needs to come forward in a group proposal. As far as I'd like to commit so much time to being in office, answer phones, do marketing, do anything that we can do to brand the world with Think Different concepts, because this needs to grow. We're going to grow it. We're going to be the instructors, the healers, the educators that move forward and teach other people. The documents and the methods, they're going to come forward. Again, I think it was Kimberly who said, and Jacob also, and whoever's got a hold of a hard copy of the manifesto or can read it on an e-form, if it's too deep for you, I suggest you just breeze over the introduction and go straight to the appendix. If that doesn't strike your curiosity, you're probably not in the right space. And you might need to fall back, regroup, think about it, and then try it at some other point. But those would be my suggestions to kind of get your feet wet. As far as all the videos, the Think and Thomas Williams, if you love that stuff, enjoy it. There's a lot of it, but there's a couple things that you got to do first. You got to understand what the monotrust is. You got to understand what the galactic structure is and how it came about and how we're way down here on the bottom on Earth when we should be immortal gods walking on our own planet, proud, sovereign, and natural law citizens instead of being crushed by all this nonsense that we've accepted because we're just not putting our heads in it. And we're not getting the skin in the game that we need to as people and as citizens of this planet. Now, as far as making it better, again, we got to think big. But first, we got to take a couple of baby steps. And this is all I can impart on you guys. If you want to write personal proposals, group proposals, do it. But the first thing we really need to do is think about getting a non-for-profit started in California, getting a bank account started in California, a phone number in California, and hopefully a hard address. That should be our first proposal. I'm in Sacramento. I'm mid-state. Dave suggested someplace up in Shasta that's got some healing resources up there that might be more of a retreat environment than an office environment. And we might have to do this 4 or 5 times over in California because we are a big state. It might be north, south, east, west, SF, Central Valley, San Diego. Could be 4 or 5 of them. But what we need to do is find the people that are willing to press that forward, commit, and if you want to ask for a salary, they will be coming available. Now, all the property purchases and all the stuff that we're talking about, I think, as far as I understand it, are going to be funneled through the state office and the state banking account. So if anybody wants to get a salary or any of that W-10, W-240s, benefits, vacation, sick leave, all of that stuff, we're going to try and set that all up somewhere, somehow, get that rolling, so then we can go ahead and review these proposals, submit these proposals as a state, as a group, in the group process. If you're an individual and you want to go out and, do something right here in your town, go for it. It doesn't hurt. What are they going to say? No? Hey, we've all been rejected. If they say remodel it or retune it, submit it in a week, boom, there we go. I mean, what's to hurt? We got nothing to lose here. All we got to do is just go, yeah, let's move forward on it. And like I say, we got to think big. We got to really think big. Our state is so diverse. We've got plenty of resources, but the people, us, we are gonna see these things manifest because we are discussing them here. We are thinking differently here, and it's gonna like Estelle saying, it's a natural attraction. Jacob saying, Jim saying, we're all saying it's a natural attraction. Ken, hang in there. Redro, I hope you get better. That's about all I have. I'm gonna keep you guys posted on this stuff. Post. And the last thing I have to say is, on the Think California, there's events, there's activities, there's files. So on these projects that everybody's working on, open a file, create a file, put the pictures in there, because in the stream, it gets lost. I mean, when you're looking at 20, 30, 40 posts a day, you're not going to keep up with any of this stuff. There's no way. But if it's in a file, you put a date on it, you put the county, whoever, submit it by your initials, however you feel you want to tag it if you want credit for it, and then just let it sit there. And then you can say, hey, go to that file and check it out. And it'll be there forever, hopefully. And now, as far as Facebook and Mimi, I don't know anything about that. I put a shield around myself. I don't think about that stuff anymore. The last thing is quit digging in the matrix hole. Start filling it up and get the hell out of it. Look at some sunshine, people. It's there for you, and it's a beautiful thing. heal yourself, by all means, Estella. We have the power to do that. We have to believe them. We've got to see it, and we're real, tangible, tactile people. And if we don't see it and trust it, we doubt it. And unfortunately, doubt is a killer. It's a killer. So stop it. Stop doubting yourself. We've got this. We've got this. Let's do this. Let's rock it. Go for it, people. I love you. It's good seeing y'all.
Thanks so much, Don. Yes, belief is key. That sounds like a pretty good place to end tonight. Thanks, Don.
I love doing that for you guys, but it's good for my soul too. You got to know that I'm just loving it right now. My cup is filling over right now. I mean,
anyone else? Anyone else have a burning desire?
That's it. Come on.
All right then.
It's I was talking to a guy, kind of, believes something too. The whole yin and yang, when I went through some, about a year ago, it was about bringing the eyes together. Something came to me, and I got quite a few different things I'm going to show you here along the way, but it's like Estelle was saying, we have that devil and the angel on our shoulders. It's constantly trying to pull us apart, and especially in the deep the knowledge that we're in right now, right? And keep yourself centered. That's why in the middle of the yin and yang, that S is there. You really want to, keep yourself centered in spirit. Let the eyes come together. You know what I mean? And that, that's kind of what Thomas was saying with even. It was amazing, the Sword and the Stone, where he put the pine. I don't know if you guys listened to that one recently, with the pineal gland and going through the heart, and then. Kind of want to, I got to re-listen to it, but he said that there's some actual swords out and about, and developing your sword and getting in tune, like he was saying, self-healing. Don, Estella, can agree with you guys more. There's so much inside of you if you just take the time. It's so cool, and this stuff, how fast this is coming out now. I'm like, we really are. We're on the forefront, and developing up new modalities, possibly ourselves, within ourselves. That we can share, and it's so cool seeing it pop and how fast it's happening. It goes to show me that this is more than just fashion fad. This is more than just a new religion. This is it. This is THR, and I'm really stoked on. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. Just wanted to kind of share that with y'all.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at the top of the hour. If anybody else has anything to share, otherwise we'll call it a night. And I want to thank everyone. This has been a great call.
Good call. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Right on.
Nice.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Thank
Kim.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, Sean.
Night, everyone. Thanks, Pamela.
Thank you.
Night, Sean. Get better.
Yeah, feel better.
Get the hell out of the house.
Sending you a big hug so you get better.
Yeah, big hugs coming.
Hey, Sean.
Thanks. I love you all.
Where you at, Sean?
I love you all. Thank you.
Sean's in Susanville.
Susanville.
Come on, you're right next to me.
Okay.
Where is that?
Up in the high desert.
Fairfield.
California. No, California.
Not
Susanville.
Soon.
Up above, let's say, an hour, 20 minutes above Reno.
Oh, okay.
But it's in California.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll take a drive. Probably it's close to the 80 freeway, right?
Yes, very close.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm close. Well, maybe I visit you. I bring my rifle machine for you a little bit.
Ah.
That would be incredibly great.
You got a rifle machine? What?
I have a plasma. I'm an intuitive, and I learn about the tuning forks. I meditate. I dowse. I dance with the elements. I'm I'm a dreamer. So I like everything. That's why I'm a support system. I'm not a front runner. I'm a supporter. So that's me.
I am too, Estella.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's play. I don't mind playing the trail for my lady, so don't you worry, girls. We'll get her done.
So if yeah, I don't know if you want, I can give you my cell. If you're really not feeling good, I take a drive on the weekend or something, because I work long hours. I'm busy. I start 7:30, I finish at 4:30, but I wake up at 5. I drive an hour to work each way. So
I would pay for gas and etc. So that'd be wonderful.
If you have a pen, I give you my phone.
And you're both on MeWe.
Yeah.
If you want to start up a chat between each other.
Yeah, send me a hi, just hi and a hello, and I put you my phone number.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great, because I don't have access to. I don't have the wherewithal to write it down right now.
And then you and maybe help you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it would.
I'm sending you from my soul, so whatever you need in my fields, they're going to there.
Thank you, honey. I love you.
Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you all.
Love you too.
I have to sign off now.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
All right.
Good night, Tim. Good night, Estella. Pam. Fantastic meeting, Jim. Good job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
That's for sure.